We are here at Mounds State Park in Anderson, Indiana. This park was established in 1930 due to the historic earthworks that were built over 2,000 years ago. The earthworks have been used throughout time by the Native Americans who built them, to pioneers, to people just like us today. The mounds were built 2,000 years ago by a group of Native Americans called the Adena Hopewell. And they didn't build the mounds to bury people in. They built the mounds to be used as their giant calendar. We know that the Adena Hopewell people would visit the mound on special occasions for big celebrations: the spring equinox, the fall equinox, the summer solstice, and the winter solstice. And they would get together, and we believe that they had big celebrations on top of the Great Mound. There might have been dancing, there might have been food, music, a big fire, maybe some sort of a leader making a big presentation or a big speech and partaking in those festivities. If you're to come visit Mounds State Park and take a walk out to the Mounds complex, this is an aerial shot of what you're going to see. Right here you've got the Great Mound. The Adena Hopewell were able to stand in the center of the Great Mound, look out to these three smaller mounds, and watch how stars rose in the sky or how sun sets, and that helped them tell the time of year. If they were to stand in the center of the Great Mound and look out here to earthwork D and notice a certain star rising in the sky, a very bright star called Fomalhaut, they would know that fall was upon them. If they were to stand in the center of the mound, look out here to earthwork B and notice the sun setting, they knew it was the winter solstice and that winter was upon them. Now if they were to stand in the center of the platform and look out to Fiddleback Mound and notice the sun setting directly behind it, that meant the summer solstice was here and summer was upon them. And they met to have those celebrations at those certain times a year because it marked a change in season, and that would mark a change in their lifestyle. We also don't know that people actually lived near the Great Mound. We think it was more of a gathering place, a special place that they would go to just at those certain times of year. Now they built that mound not by using heavy equipment, tractors, trucks like we have today. They built the mounds using a stick and a basket. And they would drive that stick into the ground deeper and deeper until dirt came up to the surface. They would scoop up that dirt and then they would put it where they wanted to make the mound. And it took them over an entire year, 366.76 days to make the mound. And actually work on the mound started a lot longer before they were actually moving dirt. They had to mark where the stars rose, where the sun set in the sky, and they did that by placing wooden posts all around the area that they wanted to make it. The Brandenburg family was the first stewards of the mounds. They were German immigrants who came to settle in this land in the 1840s, and they just happened upon the mounds complex. And they felt some sort of deep spiritual connection. They chose to settle right beside the mounds and take care of them. They protected them against people in the area who wanted to plow them over and start growing crops. The Brandenburg family protected the mounds for about 60 years, and in the late 1800s, an amusement park came onto that land. And the Brandenburg family leased out the land. They allowed that amusement park to happen because they believed it was a way to save the mounds, again, from the plow or from people building houses on top of them, building businesses, or train tracks on top of them. So we had this great amusement park out at the Mounds complex for about 30 years. And the amusement park went out in 1929 as the Great Depression was coming in and people didn't have spare change to go on rides. And in 1930, we became Mounds State Park, and we've been ever since. It's my job as an interpretive naturalist to go in, help people understand the mounds, why they're here, why they should be saved, and why they're so special. So we regularly take kids on field trips out to the mounds. We lead families out there on hikes on weekends in the summer, and we continue that education. The mounds were built 2,000 years ago as astronomical mounds to observe those changing seasons. And through the years, the mounds have been visited by people from the Native Americans, the Adena Hopewell who built them, later tribes who visited them, pioneers like the Brandenburg family, people like our own ancestors who went on roller coasters and carousel rides out by the mounds, to people today who come on field trips or go on hikes to visit them. And we invite you and your family to be part of that group of people who comes out to visit and appreciate the historic and astronomically significant mounds.